at this party last night that weren't in couples costumes.
Oh, really?
I was like, you lamos. Like, you don't need to dress
You don't
alike.
have
Like,
to,
what are
right?
you
Just because you're a couple, it doesn't mean you have to do the couple costume.
No.
Be a
But there
rebel.
was a couple that came as Princess Peach and Mario, and I thought that was it was stunning.
That's so fun. That's so
That one was
fun.
cute.
And Jello shots for all.
So many Jello shots.
I love it. I love that for you.
You just love any time I'm intoxicated. You don't even get to see
Yes.
me intoxicated. You just love
It's
the
because I already
idea
know it's
of
a
me
good
drunk.
time. I already know it's a good time. I already know.
I
I
don't know
already
if I
know.
was a good time. You'd have to ask Jesus if I was any fun. I definitely wasn't fun when I got home. I was like, leave me alone. I want to sleep.
Where you were with all the adults and I was with all the children yesterday. So there
You're
were
at a
no Jello
different
shots
Halloween.
or anything alcoholic for me.
You probably could have used a couple syringes of Jello shot.
Let me tell you something. I don't know what it is. It's just like a fire pit, because we had two fire pits and some hay bales and whatnot. But like kids are always drawn to like the fire and making
Fire?
s'mores. Yes, like
Yes, because it's delicious and dangerous all at the same time.
all at the same time, right? All at the
Hmm.
same time. So we just had like just crowds of kids just for like 4 hours straight. It was insane, but they had a great time.
We love it. We're here for this.
We're
We
so
love the
here
fall
for
season.
it.
I don't know what it's like down by you, but like the colors have been really lovely and been sustaining for like a
Mm-hmm.
good couple weeks. So it's
Yeah.
been really nice. I thought I'd come back and it would be like kind of peaked and bad, and
Mm-hmm.
it's still lovely, which is
It
nice.
is. It is. Also, the
So,
weather was perfect yesterday because this was all outdoors yesterday. So, like, the weather
mhm.
was fantastic. All you need was a long sleeve shirt or a sweatshirt, and you were good to go. So,
October's the
everything
best
really
month.
worked out. I agree.
It is the
One of the
best
best
month.
for fall.
Well,
You're
I
like,
mean,
no, overall. You're talking about overall, aren't you?
overall, it's my birthday month. It's
True.
my new year, and it's the best time of the year. It's Halloween.
I'm going to let you have it, ma'am. I'm going to let you have
Let
it.
me have it,
I
okay?
am.
I'm not like trying to make January work. Like,
Yeah, let's not do that because we all know that's a load of crap. New year,
fuck
my
January.
ass. It's the same old crap as last year.
Fuck that shit. So I was really in my head. I was like, I'm not gonna curse this episode, and then
Too late.
2.5 minutes later.
We're only human. Also, this is not a children's podcast, so
It's not, and I'm hungover, and this is where we are.
we're adults, and sometimes we're a bit spicy. So that's just what it is. That's just what
I
it
had a
is.
bunch of flapjacks and
Oh,
sausage and home fries, so
I
my
just love that you
hangover's
said
better.
flapjacks.
Flapjacks.
I just love
Eh.
that you said flapjacks. I haven't heard
Why?
that in a long time. I just felt that in my heart. I just felt that in my heart. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But they're flapjacks.
yeah,
Pancakes, flapjacks.
yeah.
I almost got chicken and waffles, but I was like, for some reason, I just don't trust the chicken and waffles here, so I didn't get it.
Yeah, now that is a very specific thing, and I just don't go willy nilly just getting that from anywhere. You
Because
know,
bad chicken and waffles is just disappointing.
it's whoa, right,
It's
right,
like there is no better. It's just you are disappointed. I'm not even
yeah,
like, angry. Like, I am disappointed.
exactly, exactly, yeah. Meanwhile, I guess I'm gonna get sushi later, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there.
Oh, I'm gonna get a nap when we're done with this. I'm so tired. And by nap, I mean I'm gonna play with my Switch.
I'm gonna get my food early because I want to be in the house and just relaxing. I want to try to like get rid of this headache and
You're
prop
gonna
my
be in
feet up.
bed.
I'm
You're gonna be
gonna
in
be
the
in the
bed.
castle. I'm gonna be in the castle in the bed. Yep, with my
In bed.
sushi and my stir fry broccoli. Maybe some goiza. Maybe.
Mother of
Um.
Joyson.
Yep. So I may like splurge and add that on too. And yeah, we're gonna roll like that today.
You
That's
know
what
what
we're
I
doing.
didn't see like almost the entire time we were on vacation? Vegetables. Like I saw them in shops and stuff, but like they
Huh?
didn't show up at meals. Like I'm like
Really?
one day we got a salad with our lunch and I was like, this is the most amazing thing ever. I'm so happy to see greens. And then I was putting salad on my plate, and his brother was like, he's like, "That's what we feed chickens," or something like that. And I was like, "Well, bok
What?
bok," and I ate it.
What? Oh no, mama needs her veggies. That's like 80% of my
I was
whole
like,
thing.
"Hey, Zeus, my insides don't work well without veggies."
Wow.
So yeah,
Yikes.
there's your TMI for the episode, folks. Eat
Well,
your
I'm glad you
vegetables.
had a wonderful time. Yes, eat your
Stay regular.
veggies. Stay very regular. Very regular.
What are you reading, or what did you recently finish? Just to get
I
us
yes, I
out of shock
recently
and fun.
finished, and I would like to once again thank Simon and Schuster for this
Oh, I forgot you
beautiful,
got that really great PR box. I
yeah,
love that.
this really beautiful PR box for I'm glad my mom died, which also came with a wonderful tote bag that I have been using quite a bit. You know why? It's a good size and it has a zipper, so it closes, which
Does
is
it
great.
say I'm glad my mom died?
No, it just says I'm
Oh,
glad. But it's a beautiful tote, and it's kind of been my like the books I'm currently reading. I put them in there, and I transport them from downstairs upstairs. You know how I do, and
I started using your system.
right, it's,
It's
it
very
works.
handy,
It is
and I
very
have so many
handy.
tote bags.
So
Like,
many, so many. So I did finally get to this just last week, actually. And this is
oh,
Jeanette
that's pretty
McCurdy's
good.
memoir. I'm sure you all know about it. This book has been talked about so much. It was sold out
Mhm.
everywhere, apparently. But it,
Really?
yeah, it was actually sold out at a lot of places. So they probably knew it was going to be popular, but didn't anticipate it being that,
That popular.
yeah, yeah, because it was not available at a lot of places. And so it, she had quite the toxic, damaging relationship with her mother. I mean, it was really heartbreaking.
Mhm.
Her mother was a narcissist, and
Mm.
she was also. I don't want to spoil things for people, but she was not a kind woman, and she really put Jeanette on the path to nurturing very dangerous habits that affect
Mhm.
her health, physically and mentally. And she was also living vicariously through her daughter. She wanted to be an actor when she was younger, but her parents didn't want her to. So she really, really pushed for Jeanette to do it. Jeanette was not into this at first. So
Mhm.
it's just really sad how hurt people. That's really the
Mhm.
best way I can put it. Because I really don't want to spoil things for people because this really is like a jaw-dropping kind of a book. Just you can't believe that someone's parent would do that to that child, or
I
you
still
can't
have
believe
to
that
read
someone's
it.
parent would say that to their child. And on top of that, just her daughter aside, even her relationship, the mother with the father, that was very toxic, was very disturbing. Some things came out that I was not expecting about that marriage. This woman, I don't, God rest her soul, but my goodness, she was not a wonderful woman at all. In addition to this book, she was on the Red Table Talk, and I did watch that as
Mhm.
well. And it was like just doubling down on a heartbreak, just watching her have this discussion about her life with the ladies at the Red Table. So I would encourage you to read the book and then go watch that interview because it was really, really good. And yeah, just you'll devour it, in a sitting, but it's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult.
I have the audiobook for it, and I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah,
I feel like I just need to let like the dust settle a little bit on it, and then
yeah.
I'll read it. But also, I have no idea who this person is.
Well, I know who she is because I
But
had kids and they used to watch her
yeah,
shows. So a lot of the times I
and
know
like
about these kids because of my kids.
yeah, because like I'm too old,
Yeah.
really, and we didn't have cable too, so that's
Mm-hmm.
like a secondary piece to it. And I don't have children, so
Yeah,
like I like totally had no idea who this person was,
exactly.
or why I mean why anybody gave a shit about
Mm-hmm.
just her in general. And like, yes, she has a crazy story, but like, why was she chosen to be like the one who got to share this particular story? Because other people have stories that are
Yeah,
awful too. Like
yeah,
not everybody gets a book deal. So, but
yeah.
anyway, I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, you get there.
Um,
You get there. You know. So give us what you got. Oh, I'm sorry. So that was. I'm glad my mom died by Jeanette McCurdy. Obviously out now.
and I'm so mad because I tried so hard to stay up for the Booker Book Club discussion of this, but I made it to about 1 a.m. in Spain, and then I fell asleep, and the thing would have started at like 2 a.m. So, but this is The Trees by Percival Everett, which is still like the best name I think ever. It's a fantastic name. This was phenomenal. Uh, I really want this to be a TV show. I feel like
Mm.
this would make a really great mini series done by like the right person. Um, who was the one who did Lovecraft Country?
Oh, I can't remember.
Anyway, but I think that they would do
Oh, you
this
mean
really
network?
well. No, who was like the people who the director?
Oh, I can't remember.
I
It was
can't
a
remember,
woman
but
though. Yeah.
whoever did Lovecraft Country would I feel like would do a really good job with the
Hmm.
trees. So basically, you're down in Mississippi, and you're in a very small town in Mississippi, and with all the things that come with being a small town in Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
aka racism, and you just have all of these people that keep showing up murdered, and next to the murdered body is the body of a black man, and after the bodies get like removed and taken to the morgue, the black person, body, man, whoever it was, because it becomes more people, disappears. And then the body will show up in other places. And so these officers come from the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, and they're black officers, and they're in this town trying to figure out what's going on because like the like Mayberry police that are like the people in charge of this, they can't figure it out. And then this broadens out into this much wider thing because things start happening, similar things start happening across the country. I
Mm-hmm.
am very hungover. Uh, keep happening across the country, and it's not just like you don't just find like black men, but you find all different kinds of peoples, sexes, genders, all these. Like, there's so like, and it just keeps happening all across the country, and there's something going on, um, and it all centers around lynching and like there's like the main story with the main people in Mississippi. There is a little old lady who um, had falsely accused a black man of doing something when she was younger. That man was lynched. And now, like many years later, like the sins of the past, it's basically like they're coming back to haunt all these people. And it becomes
Interesting.
this thing that becomes like a nationwide story and or event. Like things are happening somehow everywhere. And you have all these different people that come in from like the FBI and from different agencies to try to figure this out. And the majority of them, if I remember correctly, are different people from like minority groups, like not just like white people coming in. So like you have all these clashes with all these small town people or small town um, police agencies and detectives and stuff, and all of their bigotry and issues. And it's really well done exploration of like racism and particularly lynching in
Yeah.
the US. And the thing that makes this special is that it's funny. It's really fucking funny
Oh
because
my
it's
gosh.
very dry, it's
Yeah.
very punny, and it's very like satirical, but it's covering like such a heavy and serious topic that it kind of like cuts the like seriousness of it or like the weight of it so that you're not just like bogged down in how sad some of this stuff is, because
Right.
there'll be like a really punny funny like play on words that happens, or like there'll be like some interesting like funny little quips between like the two officers talking about like this the people, the townsfolk or something like that, or whatever they're seeing, what they're looking at. And like that nature, that like funny sort of uh satirical piece, I think is what would make this a really good show, because I feel like it
Interesting.
would be really interesting to have. I could see visually how you could set up like funny shots, like not funny shots, but like angles and stuff that could
Yeah.
highlight like you get like these really dramatic camera angles and visuals, and then you're hitting them with like these sort of cheesy, dry dad joke, almost like punchlines. And like, but there's it's really good, and I really need you to read this. Like, this was really, really good.
I am so glad that you read that. Percival Everett has been on my list for a while. Oddly, well, funnily enough, it's I was looking for westerns by black authors, right? And
Hmm.
this is before I found Lonesome Dove and got into all the westerns and stuff. And I was just curious. And somebody had written a blog post about Percival Everett's book titled "Wounded," and it was a article about westerns written by black authors. And so
Hmm.
he's been on my list for a while, just based off of that particular western. But then later on, I started hearing more and more about him, and I was like, okay, this is an author where I need to read their entire back catalog.
I did not realize how many books he had.
Yeah,
He has a pretty decent, large selection of like back catalog. That's the word I'm
yeah,
looking for.
yeah. So
Um,
for next year, I'd like to really just kind of delve into his works as well.
yeah, and I thought this was just such a brilliantly done way of highlighting a terrible topic and a
Yeah,
terrible piece of our like whole culture in this country, and the fact that we still haven't made that constitutionally legal, right? Like, I didn't miss that.
right.
Lynching is still not constitutionally illegal. And like that's crazy to me. That's crazy. um and the amount of people that kind of get discussed in this book,
Mm,
like numbers wise, the amount
yeah,
of lynchings, it's a, it's disgusting. Like, it's, and it makes it so, doing it the way he did it makes it, I don't know, it makes you finish the book and actually get the whole point, because at
yes,
least you laugh a couple times. You
yeah.
don't get like overwhelmed. So I thought this was brilliantly done, and I really liked this. And so far, what, we're on three. I've read three of the bookers so far.
Mm-hmm.
This is like top of the list right now of the
Okay,
three that I've gotten
okay.
through.
And how do you rate the other ones? And what were the other ones?
We did night crawling. I think that would be sort of more near the bottom. I don't know. It's not like the worst, but I feel like that's going to
Mm-hmm.
shake out near the bottom of the list. Uh, and oh God, what was the green covered one that you just read
Trust.
too? Trust. I don't know. I feel like that's middle of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
then we'll see. I'm reading Glory this month. So,
Yeah, Glory's the one that I got out from the library a few months ago, and I could just tell that I'm gonna need to just own that book,
hmm,
because I may need to
I
like.
just think it's really ugly. But it kind of is.
I like it. It looks weird. I like it because it looks weird. I'm just saying, it's
I
weird.
like the one that won, which is somewhere not too far from me, but like the Seven Moons of
Oh,
Mala,
that is a
whatever.
beautiful
That
cover.
one's
It's so
beautiful.
artistic. Yeah,
It's
it really
gorgeous.
is.
I don't know when we're reading that one, but I'll have to look at the list.
Okay.
I think Treacle Walker might be next. I think we're
Mm-hmm.
doing Treacle Walker and the others, like the other short one that was like kind of wintry for December, but I can't remember.
Oh, are you guys reading the long list or the short list? I don't. The short list?
Long list,
Long list.
a long
Okay.
list,
Okay.
all
All
of
right.
them,
All
because
of
it's
them.
like all year, every month we read.
Okay. All right. Well, you have made me want to grab trees and read that first. I'm Oh,
I
so I'm gonna be doing a thrifting thing soon. I have your copy of Jane Eyre, but I'm gonna hold off
Oh, I have something
because,
for you that I need to mail you that I got you while I was away.
well, I'm not gonna mail your Jane Eyre yet because my mom and oldest daughter and Caleb and I are gonna go see Black Panther together, but we're gonna go to McKay's first. And that's gonna be on November 11th. And there are things on your list that you have that I may
11,
run across.
11.
So I'm gonna wait until after that trip before because I feel like I'll probably find more stuff on your list. So I'm just gonna hold off until that trip and then I'll send you your stuff.
Sounds good.
So you have up until November 10th to continue updating our shared note.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. What's on the books for today? What's on the docket?
We are going to discuss a book we read. We're going to try to discuss a book we read because
We're
we
gonna
are.
try. I have a splitting headache, folks. Folks, sometimes you don't feel well, but you know what? You got to get these episodes done. You got to get them done.
We got to get you guys something. I mean, we can't just leave you out here with nothing. That
I
would be
mean, right?
terrible.
I mean, we love this and we love you all. So
We do.
we do it for the culture, for the lit culture.
So we both read woman eating. I always want to make it
Mm-hmm.
multiple women.
Me too. Me too.
And I'm happy that we both really liked it because I was very hesitant about it because I wasn't sure.
Were you?
It, yeah, I wasn't sure if. Okay, so I feel like this was one of those books that because it has a gorgeous cover, which you actually have one. I have an ebook of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it has a gorgeous cover, I feel like it made the rounds on Instagram and stuff. And then I never really heard anything else about it. And I
Oh my
felt
gosh,
like
you're so
it was
right.
one of those, like, look at this beautiful book. And then it just like died in the water.
Oh,
And I
listen,
was
you're
like, oh,
right.
shit. So, like, is it good? But like, it's just not the kind of book that like a lot of people read and talk about. Or was it just
Mm.
pretty and shitty? So, like, everybody, like, flash in the pan, like, look at this pretty book. And yeah, and I guess I could kind of see why some people may have not liked it. I feel like the writing was kind of like, I guess she could have been like more unhinged, or like she could have been more, it was a little quiet in some ways.
I have things to say about that. It's part of the reason why I loved it.
But I
Oh,
don't think that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, I
yeah,
think that
yeah.
that could be some of the reason why some people disliked it, because it's a very subtle book. And it, like, in what she's actually doing and all the things that she's talking about
Mm-hmm.
in this woman's little story,
Mm-hmm.
that, like, I ended up really loving it because I thought it was a very well done.
Superb. I
Yeah.
gave it a whole 5 stars for
A whole five
a whole five
star.
for a lot of reasons. And I need this book on my shelves.
Yeah, I do need it too.
I need it on my shelves. And this is a very short book. This book is only it's
It's
under
like 200 and something
230
pages.
pages.
Yeah.
And and you know what else I've realized is I keep reading books that surround art in some way. And I
Mm.
think I really like that. Like every time I read a book that has art, the focus of it in some way, I find I really, really enjoy it.
I like books that use vampirism in like a non-canon sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really liked about this is that you did that, but you still mixed it with Buffy. Like the fact that she was sitting as a teenager
Yeah.
and a vampire
Mm-hmm.
watching Buffy with her friends,
Right.
or her friend, was just, there's just something about that that just made me kind of
Yeah.
chuckle to myself every time she would make reference to it.
Yeah.
Because, doesn't that just seem like it would make sense that if we had a world of
Exactly.
people that were, vampires, they would watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer and
Of
laugh. Like,
course.
it made it so, I don't know, real to me.
It did. It did.
But but I like when you use vampirism to, like, explore certain things that are outside of the regular canon of when we talk about vampire books. It wasn't about having some sort of sexy, like, relationship. It wasn't about, I don't know, any of the normal things you would read in, like, any of our normal vampire books that you
Yep,
would
for
think of.
sure. That's why I liked
Yeah.
it because the author did not romanticize being a vampire. And in fact, I found the book to be quite sad.
It is really sad.
Yeah, quite
It's
sad.
very lonely,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very isolating,
Extremely.
and because she, but I also was, like, very happy for her to,
Mm-hmm.
like, to, I don't know how to, like, I don't want to, like, ruin stuff, but, like, with the finding some ways to, like, figure out her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I thought she was. She was just very sad. She was a very sad, lost, lonely lady
Very much so. Very
and hungry
much.
lady.
Yeah. But so the hunger thing was really interesting to me too, because we're so used to, reading a vampire novel or watching a vampire show and having it just all be about the hunger of people. But she had other
Mm.
hungers too. She had this strong
Mhm.
hunger to know and find her father. You know what I mean? She had a
Yeah.
strong hunger to, it's like she almost wanted to be able to taste food, or at least have a desire to like want to eat food and enjoy
I think
food.
she wanted to be able to assimilate because she didn't want to be alone. And honestly, her
Yeah.
mother reminded me of like I feel like that is a storyline that you hear a lot with maybe like a crazy religious fanatic living in
Mm.
an isolated way where they like
Mhm.
are very focused on like sin and sinning and like you see that come up a lot in like horror and stuff where you
Oh
have
yeah.
like and then they twist the character into like some deranged, whatever, and then like, that person is your killer or whatever it is. I
Yeah.
feel like that gets used a lot, and instead it was like just like a barrier for her to understand herself, to understand her mother, to
Mhm.
connect with her father, to because she had so many questions. She
Yeah.
thinks she's this abomination, but
Because that's
then
what her mother's been
how
selling to her the entire time. Like, we are the devil, we are evil, we are this, we are that. We don't
But then
deserve any
what about her
goodness.
dad? Why did her dad
Exactly.
love her? Why did her dad make her? What did her
Mhm.
like? There were so many questions
Yeah,
that she had to grapple with, and uh, I just felt so bad for her.
I
She
did
was so
too.
sad.
And I loved how the author, the way she used darkness, the darkness of these rooms, it really added
Mhm.
to the heaviness and the sadness of the story,
Mhm.
which I thought really made it very atmospheric. I
Mhm.
just really loved everything about this book. Also, the tone of this book to me, it kind of felt like I was reading someone's diary, which I rather
Mhm.
liked. I don't know if you felt the same thing about the tone, but that's how
Yeah,
the tone felt to me. Like I was reading the diaries of this woman, and I thought that played very well. I don't know if that was the author's intent. That could just be just how I
I don't know,
interpreted it, but
but I
that's what
agree.
it felt like to me.
And I liked that there was sort of a deranged puppet. Like I just
Right?
the pub there were like elements of this that were like super sad and
Yeah.
like sad girl literary, and then there were like
Mhm.
nice little kind of nods to horror, like the puppet stuff
Yeah.
and all of the internal machinations of her, like while she's lusting over what was his name, Ben? I don't
Yeah. What
know.
was that his name?
I don't know. He's Ben
Yes,
now.
Ben.
But
Mhm.
like all of the like just the she's just the fixation and like obsession, and it's not
Yeah.
just like a blood obsession. She wanted to be with him
Yeah.
at more than she wanted to eat him. Like she
Yes.
wanted to be with him, and like
Yes.
she had humanity in her. She wasn't just this
Mhm.
like evil that her mother wanted her to believe. And it was
Exactly.
so there were moments where it was really hopeful, where you were like, maybe she's going to be able to be uh, able to embrace and live more like her human side.
Yep.
Um, and you really wanted her to do that. But
Yeah.
then, you know, things don't always work out that way.
Right.
Um, and the mom was really interesting to me because, like, what was happening with them? Like, where was she just gonna live forever out in that little
Yeah.
nursing home?
Yeah, like, I mean, she was gonna literally outlive everyone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Oh, well, okay, here's a thought I had because she did have dementia, right?
yeah,
So, one of my thoughts was that, okay, well, if she has dementia, she could forget she's a vampire and then she could somehow make her way into the sun and die.
yeah.
Like,
But they
that was
don't
a
die in the
possibility.
sun. But they don't die in the sun. They get like severe
That's right.
sunburn because
That
it's
gets super
non can
sunburned.
it's not
Right.
canonical. It is.
She was just gonna outlive everyone then.
Mhm. But I thought it was
Or
interesting, like,
no, or
because
starve to
how
death.
old was the mother? Because the mother was really old. I
They
got
never
the sense that the mother was like super old. Like she was made a vampire like hundreds of years ago.
See, I didn't get that sense.
I got the sense that it was like a long, long time ago that some colonizer kind of group came in and she was turned. And
Yeah, I
then
don't,
at some point she had a child.
because it's never clarified either.
Uh-uh.
Well, I guess it
But
doesn't
I
matter, but yeah, it's never clarified either.
but also, like, I said, adds to the fact that like they didn't really know each other, mother and daughter.
Mm-mm.
There was like a lot of distance between them. And I don't know, I like a good story where the mother and daughter don't have a good relationship because
Yeah.
it's more relatable.
Well, it sounds like from the moment the mother, I guess, I don't. She turned her, but I don't think that she really enjoyed the fact that she had to turn her, and that
I
created
think
some
she didn't.
distance between them.
I
Um,
wonder if they were very similar, like, 'cause, like, if there was a parallel between them at that time, because I can imagine that the mother, when she had the father, like they were together,
mhm,
and she gives birth to this child that she is hoping for some sort of normalcy,
mhm,
and when she doesn't get to have that, but she also can't let go and saves her child,
mhm.
that is a turning point for her. And I feel like our main character, whose name I cannot remember, um, kind of has the similar thing going on where she's trying so very hard to
Yeah,
embrace her humanity and to find her humanity and cultivate it. And like the world just doesn't really let her.
yeah, yeah. And she wants so badly to have a normal life and to have a family. I guess all the
Mhm.
things that she desired for herself growing up, to have
But
mother,
she had a
father, and
creepy puppet.
well, don't we all wish we had a creepy puppet as a kid that
No,
we
I grew
carry on
up in
into
the
adulthood?
dollhouse. I don't want a creepy puppet.
What
The
else
only
was
thing
funny was, although she's just vampire, like she's still like your regular old intern who's taking a whole bunch of crap from your boss at work, and I guess in your typical, vampire novel or movie, she would have eaten that woman because she made her
Oh
so
yeah.
mad and disrespected her and just treated her like a total
Oh
ass or
yeah.
whatever. But like, she's just your typical lowly intern. Thought it was going to be this type of a job. Turns out you're nothing but a coffee maker. You know what I mean? So that was kind of a fun dichotomy in the book too. I that
But
I that I
it
really
says a
enjoyed.
lot. It says a lot about her personality though, because she
Mm-hmm.
is comes off very meek and
Oh yeah.
lacking in confidence, but in reality, she's a powerful demon and she
Yeah.
can kill you
Mm-hmm.
and terrify the bejesus out of you.
Exactly.
But she doesn't find that power in herself until the end. Spoiler.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I guess there is something sort of uplifting about that, about a woman finding her power. But there are some things also very sad about a woman not being able to have the life that she desires.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally love the fact that that horrific scene didn't happen until the very end.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because it almost, because the way the book was going, that scene could have very well never even have happened because we were already on that track. You know what I mean? She
Oh
had
yeah, I
not
thought she was
really,
gonna like kill herself or something.
well, I thought she was going to eat Ben. Like I,
Oh
I
yeah,
was,
that
I
too.
was just, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it, and then I thought at some point
No, but I
that
think
she
she
would
really
get Ben's
loved Ben.
the girlfriend. I thought she was going to get the girlfriend because when
That
she
one
was
for
really
sure.
in love with Ben and she wanted to be with Ben, I said, "Oh, okay, now for sure she's probably going to, you know, eat the girlfriend." But then I realized, and she talks about this in the book, right? Then I realized, okay, my brain is so used to the way that we romanticize and glorify a particular type of vampire that I keep waiting for those things to happen in this book. And she says it in this book in one of her many, monologues or whatever, that like all the things that they say kills vampires in movies. She's like, I tried all
Yeah,
that
yeah, they
before.
don't
You know,
exist.
none of that
Yeah,
works. And,
they don't
and
happen.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so programmed to a certain way in which we describe vampires that I am still looking for it to happen in this book. Although the
Yeah,
author is already showing me, no, this is a different type of vampire. We're not playing into those roles. So as I was reading it, I was like, yes, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. I'm expecting that. And it's not happening. This is a different vampire novel.
I know. I just don't understand how Ben survived the goose scene though, because like I, I mean, men are really truly a special set of creatures because
Man, tell me about it.
because the fact that he wasn't just like absolutely never speaking to you again. What
Yeah.
the fuck? Like
Yeah.
somehow, like that wasn't. I no. Also,
Right.
I don't know how we didn't notice it earlier.
Right. Right.
Were you just too caught up in the moment, sir?
Yes, he was.
Because men
Cuz
are
he's a
stupid.
man. I want to read one part because I actually really loved how she kept dinging at how we usually portray vampires.
Hmm.
And this is when she's, you know, she's frustrated about her internship because she thought she thought she was going to be doing one thing, and it turns out she's doing something else, and she's not feeling, you know, very respected in her work. And then she's like,
Hmm.
I don't know how other people do it. How do I go from where I am, being moved out of photographs and replaced with actresses like I don't exist, to where I want to be? In just a couple of months, I've run out of money to rent my studio. How is it that vampires and all the books and films and TV programs always seem to be so successful and wealthy and able to rent or even buy studios, flats, houses, sometimes whole estates? How is it that they all manage to feed themselves and stay so strong? How can they all, including the good ones with souls, get hold of blood so easily, while I've struggled to even get some fresh pig blood, while I struggle now to even replace what I got from a meager duck? I
Oh, I'm
just,
sorry.
I
It was
loved
a
it.
duck, not a goose. But
Right.
anyway,
Yeah, like
and some
I
sort
loved
of
it
bird.
because she kept doing that throughout the book, like just kind of like,
Yeah,
you know, digging on what we normally portray vampires and being and having. And she's like, that is wrong. That's not really
but
how
she
it
also
goes.
what I liked was that like she remember she did have a plan for like
Hmm.
she gets the studio and she has this plan for the rest of her
Yeah.
lives because she's gonna have multiple lives that she's gonna
Hmm.
have to live. And she's like, she's gonna become an artist. She's gonna set up a studio. She's gonna do whatever, and then and she's just gonna have to have that exchanged, to new owners who are her throughout the centuries or
Right.
whatever. And in like canon, that's how vampires establish wealth. It's that they have been collecting and managing wealth
Hmm.
over decades, hundreds
Hmm.
of years, and their wealth begets wealth, right?
Hmm.
But you still have to start somewhere. And so like
Right.
she is like at that beginning. And if you don't ever make that start, you can't ever be the rich, wealthy vampire that is our classically thought of vampire.
Right. But to her point, you don't get to see the start. You only ever get to see
Now,
the
you
finished
only ever
product
see
when they're fully formed and already wealthy. And so you don't think they ever were not wealthy. So I don't, I just, this was such a short book, but it really was a great read. And it is quite emotional too. It's quite emotional.
yeah.
And you want the best for her. It's so weird because it's like I kept asking myself, like she's a vampire, but like she's not out there just eating people. But I also felt weird rooting for her. But then I was like, well, it's okay to root for her because she's not murdering people. Like my brain was so conflicted for like half of this book. I
Like,
was just like, I don't.
you go, girl. Thank good job not killing people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I was just my head was so messed up reading this at points and times in this book. But you know,
Because
in
you
the
just
end,
I feel like the way it's written, you often forgot that she really is a vampire until you
yeah.
were reminded of her hunger and the things
Mm-hmm.
that made her different. And mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it talks a lot about like trying to understand your culture,
Mhm.
and when you come from different backgrounds and
Yeah.
losing connection with that. I think there's discussions of mothers and daughters. There's sort of coming of age things. There's establishing yourself. There's discussions of what it means to be an artist. I mean, Ben goes on
Mhm.
a whole talk about him and the differences between him and his girlfriend and
Oh,
their
yeah.
careers and their paths and what
Mhm.
being an artist means to each of them. I think there's a lot in this little book
Yeah.
that is very subtly and sort of quietly discussed.
Yeah.
And I think that's why some people may not have liked it if they did, or not have liked it enough to like shout about it. Because I feel like oftentimes those subtle books get missed on the bigger scale, uh,
So
on like
are you
bookish
saying
social
because
media.
it wasn't canon enough, it didn't really get the attention or
No, I think because it was just generally quieter. Like
Mhm.
it was all the things that when you sit down and you start to think about it, like all the different things that are really being discussed. It's
Discussed
not just
throughout
a
the entire
story
story, yeah.
about a girl, trying to make her way in the world, having a crush on a boy, like
Yeah.
whatever. It's not just that simple.
Mhm.
Um, and but there's lots of little things throughout the story.
Yeah.
Um, that if you're not gonna sort of put all the pieces together, you might miss just how robust it really is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess that's my point. So some people miss those things when they're very quiet
Yeah, that's
books.
true. I don't know about you, but I had some hope when she was introduced to Ben's, circle of artist friends.
Mhm.
Um I felt like, "Oh, okay, so she's gonna somehow have some semblance of like a normal life and have like a nice friend group.
Mhm.
They're all artists, they can relate to one another, they can help one another." And I was a little sad when that kind of, unraveled so quickly. And even that, like there was that one artist there, like she hadn't like, produced any work in a long time. And I was like, oh, this is such a it's a nice setting of like your typical group of art friends who
Yeah.
are some are really on their way, like Ben's girlfriend, like, she's very much in demand in the moment. She's a
Mhm.
hard charger. She really sees a real big future for herself as an artist. And, there's Ben who's kind of like, art's cool and all that, but I kind of really just want a family and like a regular job, you know?
But I think that Ben's art piece is brilliant. Like if he could have created that, it would have been a stunning piece of art.
Yeah. Yeah.
That and I get his con- um wow, my brain is dead. Don't drink, folks. I get his hesitation around actually completing the thing because what is something that is that fleeting?
Mhm.
Like it's it's not a thing you can hang on a wall.
Mhm.
It's not a performance piece that you can easily repeat over and over. There's nothing to take home.
Mhm.
It is a moment, like an epic moment, like watching a comet cross the sky. I actually thought his whole thing was probably better than his girlfriend's.
And then if he does complete it, then the next thing is people will be asking, what's next? And here we have
Yeah,
that other level of dreaded pressure of trying to recreate a moment, which very often does not and cannot happen. And
yeah,
sometimes people just actually don't even want to be in that position. They'd rather have something unfinished than to finish it and they be put in the pressure cooker of trying to recreate something just as great or better.
yeah,
And we have to respect those decisions too.
yeah. So I thought that the discussions about art were very interesting. I think there's a lot that's in here that's not
Mhm.
um like shouting into your face.
Yeah. Nothing in this book is shouting in your face,
Mm-mm.
but it's still
I
hitting
really
you
liked
hard.
it.
I loved
I
it.
really liked it, and it is beautiful.
I loved it.
So
I recommend
10
it.
out of 10.
10 out of 10. I
I think it's
recommend
great.
reading this book. It is very short. You can read this in a day if you choose to. And I thought it was a very different vampire novel. So yeah. Grab it, folks. Grab it. Hopefully I can find the thrifted copy of this. I wanted to read this one part. This is when she was this when she had that delusional moment when she saw her mother, but her mother wasn't really there. and her
I
mom
don't know
was
what you wanted to read, so I don't know.
when she was seeing her mom wasn't really there, and the mom was like basically wanted her to take her with her, and she's like, "Mom, I can't take you with me." And mom says, "Why not?" And she says, "Because you make me feel like I'm not worthy of life."
Yeah.
She says, you just act like you're dead, like you died when you returned. How can I live my life with the shadow of that over me?" You know? It's
It's a
very
really
sad.
that's a very sad. It's a very
Yeah.
sad mother-daughter relationship. It's very sad that she doesn't seem to actually have a relationship with her dad at all, and there's, like, a
Mhm.
lot of hope there that, like, I feel like you kinda wish that she had, because there's some thought that, like, maybe her dad was actually great.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
discussion of, like, how people own pieces of her father's work and she doesn't even know him, that
Mhm.
was very interesting. I mean, there's just a lot in this little guy,
Yeah.
and I think it's was surprisingly good book.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
Mhm.
Pick it up. Woman Eating by Claire Kohda. How do you think? Maybe?
Sure.
Let's go with that. Anyway, it's fantastic. I loved it. I loved it.
Cool. Ah, tired people. Okay, what are we recommending?
I am going to recommend a book that I finished a few days ago. This is The Cloisters by Katie Hayes, and this is coming out from Atria on November 11th.
I have such
So,
issue with that cover only because it looks just like the new Kate Atkinson.
the Shrines of Gaiety, you think so? I mean, it's similar, yeah, it's similar, but yeah. So this podcast, so this will be out a day after our podcast releases, November 1st. I really thought this was fun. It was a little dark. We've got what's her name? Anne. She's newly arrived to New York City for this internship, and when she gets there, something has happened and basically no longer is able to be in this position because of money or something. And
Mhm.
so this other guy that works at the cloisters, his name is Patrick. He has his own little department there. He basically says, "Oh well, I can use her," and so she's excited because now she can get a paycheck and stay in New York City and
Mhm.
still work at the
Mhm.
cloisters or whatever. And so she begins working with Patrick at the cloisters. And what's the other lady's name? Rachel. With Rachel, so they're a team
Sure.
of three. Mhm. They're a team of three, and Patrick and Rachel. And Anne doesn't really know what she's gotten herself into, like on the onset, because this is a totally different department than what she was going to be working in. I think she was going to be working in the Met before, but now she's in the cloister. They do something completely different. And Patrick is doing this whole exhibit on tarot cards,
Mhm.
and it turns out like Patrick is really, really into tarot. And this becomes really the backdrop of the entire story. Um, People throughout history, from Patrick's research, have really relied on the tarot to guide their lives and to tell them the future. And Patrick really believes in tarot. He does a lot of readings. He's been trying to acquire tarot cards from like way, way, way back in the day. And he's really excited about this exhibit. And there's another character in here. I forget her name, but there was a point where Patrick invites Anne to come up to his house with Rachel and this other lady for a dinner. And while Patrick and Rachel are in the kitchen talking, this other lady basically tells Anne, we don't get involved in that, right, Anne? Like, we just let them do their thing because we don't need to get mixed up in all that. So there was all this foreshadowing as to like let Anne know this looks like fun and games, but they've got something else going on, and you just want to make sure you steer clear of it all of it. And I like this book because it feels sinister, kind of like all the way through. You never
Mhm.
really trust anyone. You certainly
Oh, I
don't
like
trust
that.
Patrick. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
Patrick has got some things going on. You most definitely do not trust Rachel. You don't know why, but there's something about her where you just know she's done some crap in her past. She's doing some crap now, and she absolutely should not be trusted. And
Fuck
then
that hoe.
Patrick and Rachel together is a whole other thing, because it appears that they may be involved romantically, maybe, but they have a lot of secrets. There are secrets abound everywhere. Nothing and no one can be trusted. Then there's the gardener.
Oh, there's a
There's the
gardener.
gardener of the cloisters, and he's a sexy gardener, and Anne gets involved with him. But even with him, there's something off about his personality and his character as well. Again, no one can really be trusted. There's just a lot of unanswered questions, and I like that feeling of really not knowing where my footing is in the story, and really not knowing who I can really rely on. I like being kind of tussled and disturbed in that way, and I just thought it was a really fun read. It's great for the fall. It's great for the fall. The
It sounds really good.
Cloisters. The Cloisters by Katie Hayes. And so this is another one where, like Mother Thing, where people go off the rails. So
I love a good
pick it
fucked
up.
up mom. So I have this book, Al. Wow, O Caledonia, not
Mm.
Al. There's no Al's.
Is that a crow?
I was yeah, it's well,
Oh,
yeah, it's a it's not like a crow.
some
It's
kind of bird.
yeah, I can't remember what the name of it is. Anyway, um, so Scribner sent me this. It sounded really interesting. This is like a reprint of a classic. This author has only written. This is by Elspeth Barker. She was a teacher, and she wrote like one book. This, and it's phenomenally well written. I think in like the 50s or 60s in the UK. Um, and I think one of my favorite things is just on the back is blurred by a bunch of authors. It's got an
Mhm.
introduction by Maggie O'Farrell, and I just like how this is worded. It says a sparkly, funny work of genius and one of the best, least known novels of the 20th century.
Oh, wow.
I just kind of like how that was worded. So it's very short and it's kind of a coming of age story, but it's a coming of age story that starts with a death and ends with a death. And you see how life is in like sort of post-war England, in Scotland for young women.
Mm,
And you have a young woman that reminds me quite a bit of Stephen from A Well of Loneliness in
mm.
her being counter to what is expected of a young lady. I don't think that she's queer in any way. She doesn't seem to be overtly written as queer, which she could very easily be queer.
Right.
Um, also, but she's a young lady who is very, she just thinks very differently than everybody else because is, she thinks like she wants to, she has a thirst for knowledge. She really enjoys language and words, and um, she doesn't quite fit with everybody else around her. I mean, in all
Okay.
honesty, she could even be somewhere on the spectrum.
Oh,
Um, the bird is actually, she makes friends with this bird that sort of leaves every night and comes back to live in her bedroom. But it's the story of her life. So we start with her death. Um, so you know she dies. This is not a spoiler. She dies on page one. And then it goes back and explains her life. And you see her growing up in Scotland in this like crumbling castle. You see her go to girls' school, and you see her eventually meet her demise. And along the way, she hits like all these pivotal points in the growth of a young woman. You know, she gets breasts, she has her period, she goes to a coming out ball. That's not really anything you or I ever did, but like, you know what I mean? Like she
Mhm.
has
Mhm.
all these moments and you watch her being different, um and trying to fit in. She's kind of got like Joe from Little Women vibes, and
Okay.
it's actually, and it's phenomenally well written. And I will say that, like, in the beginning, the first couple chapters, I wasn't really sold, but then I kept going because it's quite short. Because why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
And she really did kind of grow on me as she grew up, and it was sad knowing that she was going to die in the
Mhm.
end, and it was sad how she died in the end. Um, and there's also this like kind of, this is one character who's like this Russian aunt, I think, or like grandma. She's kind of older and she's kind of like kooky. and she's like always drunk, and I kind of really liked her. They like tried to ship her off, and like her mom is actually like her stepmom, and like her mom tried to ship the lady off to like some other relative to be like the
Hmm.
caretaker, and she had this like weird hairless cat, and the hairless cat died, and so like she never took care of
Oh my
the lady
gosh.
she was supposed to take care of. She just took care of the cat, and then the cat died, and then she was really distraught over the cat. So this just this kooky people. There were kooky people in this book, and
I
it
like
was
cookie people.
so it was actually really enjoyable, and I feel like you would like it. I think like my
Yeah.
mom would like it. I think there's like a very particular readers who would enjoy this story, and I've never heard it before, and
Oh,
I thought it was really
Caledonia.
lovely.
Okay.
Oh, Caledonia.
Oh, Caledonia. Okay. That sounds good.
So
That sounds
yeah,
good.
it was good. It was a good time.
Oh my
Naomi, we
goodness.
recorded an episode.
God, I know. It was
You
such a
don't
struggle.
understand how much we're hurting. And I also realized as I was slapping makeup on my face, we don't record when we're feeling good. We're never like, I'm feeling great, let's record. We're always like half dead.
I know.
I don't
I
know
know.
why. I don't know why.
Or I realized like it's always a day where like the day before I did something major and I'm just like
Yeah.
totally exhausted the next day,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, we made it.
Well, we made it. My
We made it.
hungover butt made it. And I
Yeah,
can
we
now
this
go play
today
with
will
my Switch.
not be a mega recording session. We're just doing this one. We'll do the mega next week.
It's a minute recording session.
Gosh.
I make myself laugh.
Uh,
All right, but
all right,
I need
folks.
you I need you to read The Trees though.
I
Like I
must
need
read the
everyone to read it, but
trees.
I need you specifically to read it, and I need you to tell me. Oh, I just need you to read it with, and we need to talk about it, you and I
Yes.
together, because I think it's really fucking good.
Yes, I'm excited. You got me extra excited to read that book.
I'm so mad I missed the discussion because this is probably a really good discussion. I really wanted to like get into it, but
Yeah.
alas, I fell asleep. It was
Oh,
very late.
speaking of being really enticed to read something, so you just really made me want to read The Trees. I was listening to an episode of, I think it was Poured Over, one of my new favorite podcasts, and she was interviewing KSA Layman, the gentleman who wrote Long Division and How to Slowly Kill Yourself and Others While something like that. But he wrote that his latest book, Long
Hmm.
Division, and just hearing his interview, like I need to read his book immediately. I've got it like right there. I'm gonna read that next month, I believe. But just I don't know. I kind of fell in love with him in that interview. Now I just want to read
Um,
that book and
since we're going to talk about random books for a hot second, this arrived. It comes out in April,
oh, I
but
have
I
that.
don't know if you got this.
Mm-hmm.
Chain Gang All Stars.
Yeah.
This sounds phenomenal.
Yes. Shall we read and
Hmm.
discuss on the podcast?
We should. This actually
Yes.
sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah.
Here for it. And I feel like it goes really nicely on the heels of Our House of D and all of that. So,
Yes.
because it
Yes.
talks a lot about our prison system. But
Do you have your copy of our beautiful book next to you?
yeah, this one.
Yes. The book that we both talked about on the podcast at least for 3 or 4 episodes. We will be reading this and talking about it on the show, folks. Our Share of Night. Yes, we're very excited. This book in particular was a really highly anticipated book for the both of us. And I could not wait for it to come out in the US because it doesn't come out in the US until February. So I did a order from Blackwell so I can get it now because it's already out in the UK.
Same.
So we are just really excited to dig into this chunker. I'm so excited.
It's
I'm
beautiful,
so
and she's a
excited.
really good writer, and
I'm going to order her
I
other
I
books too.
I think it's gonna be. She's really good at like dark, and this
Mhm.
is gonna be dark because it's talking about the period in Argentina's history where they were under dictatorship and people were getting disappeared and all of
Yeah.
that. So it's gonna be a really dark fictionalization of that whole history, and
Mhm.
um I believe it's almost like vampiric too, or at least demonic in some
Yeah,
nature, the way that it's
exactly.
it's covered. So I'm really, really, really excited about this.
I'm super psyched. I'm super, super psyched. So, if anyone already has a copy, let us know if you want to read along. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Otherwise, you have to wait till February because
Right.
that's when it comes. It's February, right? It's a long time away.
Yes. I already knew that I wasn't going to be able to wait. There's no way. It sounds too
Okay.
good. So,
Oh,
that's
and
what's up for us folks.
just for the record, I did
Oh,
start.
did you?
It's
Okay, so
it's Babel. I've been saying it wrong for like a year. It's Babel.
okay. Well, everyone's saying Babel. So, you weren't the only one. So, it's Babel. Okay.
It's
And how far did
Babel.
you get so far?
I'm on chapter 7.
Okay, how's the vibe? How's the vibe?
I
Give us the
am
vibe check.
surprisingly enjoying it. Hesitant that I will keep enjoying it based on my experience with the other one. How like I was in love and then like rapidly declined my
Mhm.
feelings on the Poppy War. Not the Poppy War itself, but that whole trilogy.
Mhm.
So I'm very nervous about this book for some reason, but so far, absolutely stunning, beautiful, love it, amazing,
Okay.
5 stars, knocked out of the park. Everything's fantastic. But I have this.
Hesitancy. Just from your
So we'll
previous
see.
experience with the author. Now,
Yeah,
Babel is standalone, right? This is not a series, right?
I think so.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So that's more hope though, don't you think? Right?
Yes.
Because the Poppy War was a trilogy. Yeah? This
Yeah,
is a
yeah, yeah,
standalone, so
yeah.
perhaps
I believe it's a standalone.
okay.
I guess we'll see when I get to the end of it. I never trust anything.
Yeah, I initially had a plan to read it in December, but I think I still don't want to yet. Um,
Um, so far, I'm really enjoying the commentary on colonialism
mhm.
and like cultural appropriation and
Yeah.
all of that. I think that it's very well done.
Okay.
So hopefully, the story continues to hold up
Yeah. Yeah.
to the commentary. So we'll see. Time will
Yeah. I
tell.
mean, I'm excited about Our Share of Night, and then as you know, because we talked about it before, you know how I loved Wanderers by Chuck Wendig, and that sequel is coming out next month. So boom, that is I am I am so ready. And I don't pre-order a lot of stuff, but I pre-order that one.
I have so many books coming in November. I have 2 tomorrow, 1 next week, and then 3 books, but that's quite a bit of books to pre-order
Yeah.
coming in November. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Always with the books. Always with the books. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tell a friend, read with us. Let us know what you're reading. Let us know if you have a copy of Our Share of Night or if you plan on reading it whenever it comes out where you are. Talk with us. We love it. We love chatting books. That's going to do it for
Make
us.
sure you review the podcast if you feel so inclined.
Please do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.